Siberia's mystic, the rise of Rasputin, Grigory Rasputin. The name itself conjures images of dark mysticism and shadowy influence. Born a peasant in the frozen heartland of Siberia, Rasputin rose to become the most powerful man in Russia, his influence over the Tsarina Alexandra seemingly boundless. Stories of his healing powers, his hypnotic gaze, and his debauched lifestyle spread like wildfire through the court. To the Tsarina, he was a holy man, a mystic who could heal her hemophiliac son, Alexei. To others, he was a charlatan, a dangerous deviant who held the Tsarina, and by extension the Tsar, in his sway. Rasputin's rise to power was as meteoric as it was improbable. A self-proclaimed holy man, he arrived in St. Petersburg in 1905. A time of great social and political upheaval, the Tsarina, desperate to find a cure for her son's ailment, welcomed him with open arms. Rasputin, with his piercing eyes and pronouncements of faith, quickly gained her trust and became a fixture in the royal court. His influence over the royal family grew, much to the chagrin of the aristocracy, who saw him as a threat to their power and a stain on the reputation of the monarchy. Whispers of discontent began to circulate within the opulent palaces and gilded cages of the Russian aristocracy. Rasputin, with his peasant background and uncouth manners, was an affront to their sensibilities. His debauchery, whispered about in hushed tones, scandalized the court. His influence over the Tsarina, absolute and unwavering, was a source of constant anxiety. The Tsar, Nicholas II, blinded by love for his wife and his desperation for his heir, seemed oblivious to the growing resentment toward the Siberian mystic. As Russia marched toward the cataclysm of World War I, the calls for Rasputin's removal grew louder. The Tsarina, however, remained steadfast in her support, convinced that he was their only salvation. The stage was set for a confrontation, a clash between the old world of power and the enigmatic force that was Grigory Rasputin. The whispers of discontent would soon turn into a roar, culminating in a desperate plot to eliminate the man they called the Mad Monk. Whispers of discontent, the plot against the Mad Monk. Within the opulent palaces of St. Petersburg, a conspiracy was brewing. A group of nobles, their ranks, including Prince Felix Yusupov, Grand Duke Dmitry Pavlovich, and right-wing politician Vladimir Purishkevich, resolved to eliminate the man they saw as a threat to Russia's very existence. Rasputin, in their eyes, had become a symbol of the rot within the Tsarist regime, his influence a cancer eating away at the fabric of the nation. The conspirators, united by their disdain for Rasputin, were a disparate group. Yusupov, the flamboyant and fabulously wealthy prince, saw the assassination as a patriotic duty, a chance to redeem his family's honor. Grand Duke Dmitry, Nicholas's cousin and confidant, harbored doubts about the Tsarina and her unwavering faith in the Siberian mystic. Purishkevich, a firebrand nationalist, believed that Rasputin's death was necessary to save Russia from itself. Their plan was daring, audacious, and shrouded in secrecy. They would lure Rasputin to the Moika Palace, Yusupov's grand residence on the banks of the Moika River, under the pretense of a late-night rendezvous. There they would kill him, disposing of his body in a way that would leave no trace. The conspirators believed that Rasputin's death would be a spark, igniting a popular uprising that would sweep away the Tsar and his regime. The date was set for December 30th, 1916. As the city slept under a blanket of snow, the conspirators prepared for their fateful encounter with the Siberian mystic. The air crackled with tension, the weight of their actions heavy on their minds. They were about to step into the annals of history, their names forever linked to one of the most infamous assassinations of all time. The game was afoot, the die cast, and the fate of Russia, unknowingly to them, hung precariously in the balance. A fateful night. The assassination attempt begins. Under the cloak of a snowy December night, Rasputin, none the wiser to the plot against him, received an invitation to the Moika Palace. Yusupov, playing the part of a desperate supplicant seeking the holy man's help, had requested his presence. A late supper, he hinted, awaited him. Rasputin, never one to refuse an invitation to the palaces of the powerful, readily agreed. The conspirators awaited his arrival with a mixture of trepidation and grim determination. The palace, usually alive with the sounds of music and laughter, was eerily silent. In the basement, a room had been prepared, a dining room transformed into a death trap. Yusupov, his nerves on edge, paced the room, the ticking of the clock a deafening reminder of the impending act. Rasputin arrived, his dark eyes glinting in the dim light of the palace hallway. He seemed to exude an aura of invincibility, an almost supernatural confidence that unnerved his would-be assassins. He greeted Yusupov with a knowing smile, his gaze lingering on the faces of the other men present, as if sensing the danger that lurked beneath their veneer of civility. The group descended into the basement. The air grew heavy, thick with anticipation and dread. As Rasputin entered the room, his eyes fell upon the sumptuously laid table, laden with crystal glasses and silver platters piled high with food. Unbeknownst to him, a deadly feast awaited him, one from which there would be no escape. The conspirators exchanged nervous glances. The night was young, but their grim work was about to begin. Poisoned wine and cyanide cakes, a life untouched. The conspirators, their faces masks of strained pleasantries, offered their guest food and drink. Rasputin, seemingly at ease, partook of the poisoned fare. He drank deeply from the wine goblets, each one laced with enough cyanide to kill a man several times over. He greedily devoured the sweet cakes, oblivious to the deadly dose of poison concealed within each sugary morsel. Time stretched on. The minutes turned to hours, but still Rasputin showed no ill effects. He continued to eat and drink, his appetite seemingly unaffected by the lethal cocktail of poisons he had ingested. The conspirators watched in astonishment and growing fear. Had their plan gone awry? Was the man truly invincible, as the rumors suggested? Yusupov, his nerves frayed by the delay, excused himself from the room. He conferred with the others, their faces etched with worry and disbelief. Rasputin's resilience was unnerving. They had underestimated their foe, misjudged the potency of the poison, or perhaps they thought with a shudder he possessed an almost supernatural immunity to their deadly concoctions. As Yusupov rejoined Rasputin, he carried with him a bottle of his favorite Madeira wine, hoping to hasten the effects of the poison already in the mystic system. Rasputin, his mood jovial, accepted the wine, draining the glass in a single gulp. Still there was no reaction, no sign of weakness, only the same unnerving vitality that had captivated and terrified the Russian court for years.